Hello everyone, this is Daily Game Hearts 4 News, bringing you a bonus video for today. Okay, so I was browsing YouTube the other day, just mindlessly scrolling through my feed, when I noticed this Game Theory YouTube short called Kingdom Hearts Lied. So, but TLDR is, during the Twilight Thorn fight when Roxas sticks his Keyblade through the platform as he's falling, the amount of strength it requires is just ridiculous. The math seems accurate for the most part, and while I don't have any complaints against the video, except for one, the complaint being the phrasing of the short, saying that Roxas is the strongest Keyblade warrior. Going to the comments, most people just disagree with this narrative and are very quick to call it out, and it got me thinking, is he really? Obviously, if you think about it for more than like 5 seconds, you'll say no, of course not. It's Sora, for crying out loud. And of course that's true, but some part of me still wanted to at least test this theory to see if at least somewhat true. After all, power scalers do this all the time, and both Roxas and Sora seem to be classed in the same category of low 1C, so I think it would be fun. So here's how it's going to be done. First of all, I'm not using any details from a series that come after KH2 in the timeline. So TLDR, no Dream Drop or KH3. I want this to be as fair as possible, and it doesn't make sense to use power scaling from games Roxas barely partakes in. And the result would be pretty obvious, and this video would be just kind of a waste of time. So I'm basically going off anything before KH2 or KH2 itself in the timeline, just to make things fair. And also a bit more accurate. Secondly, I'm going to judge 5 categories: combat skills, strength, magic, movement, and feats. I think this will best determine who is good at what, and what their strengths are. It's also easier to decide the outcome this way. Also, while I tend to think I can be knowledgeable on the series, humans like me can get things wrong. So if you want to correct me on something or just speak your point of view, please feel free to do so in the comments below. Also, this video will be biased, and while my opinion is subjective, I still like to think the vast majority of us will come to the same conclusion, so let's just get started. Okay, so this category, Roxas arguably has the most success in. He is the first Keyblade wielder to actually wield 2 Keyblades at once, beating out Sora. He's also had more experience with the Keyblade, since at this point in the story, Roxas has essentially had 1 year with the Keyblade, while argued that Sora has had less than a year total using the Keyblade, obviously not counting the year he was spent asleep in Recom. Sora has accomplished more with the Keyblade and can still dual wield with drive forms, but Roxas can just do it naturally. In terms of fights, I think Roxas just has it here too. Roxas was able to defeat Riku back in days, not only to the point of overpowering him, but also to the point that Riku had to literally let the darkness take over him and change him forever. Riku arguably felt no other way to defeat him. The same can arguably be said about Sora during the Roxas fight. Sora is basically getting beat down by Roxas, even to the point where Roxas can trap Sora's Keyblade. The arguably only reason why Sora won this fight was due to the power to recall his own Keyblade, and letting him get a blow on Roxas. Some may argue that Sora is still stronger here due to the fact that he can hold his own with just 1 Keyblade, but I still think Sora gets outplayed here, and this is one of the few bosses he struggles with in the main story, and the only other one that comes to mind is like Xemnas. But yeah, in terms of combat skills, I think Roxas takes it here. Strength is an entirely different ballgame. Going back to the Game Theory video, while Roxas being able to hold himself vertically with the Keyblade, which is extremely impressive, Sora can literally just cut through buildings. Not only cut through them, but also cut through them while moving at ease and running on said buildings. While both Sora and Roxas have defeated bosses much larger than themselves, such as both of them being able to defeat Darkseid and Roxas defeating Twilight Thorn, up until this point, Sora has defeated Ansem and Xemnas. And arguably, Nomura came out directly said that Xemnas is the strongest, with Roxas being the second strongest. While some may argue that going back to the combat skills, since Roxas can overpower Sora and Riku, that he could hypothetically beat Xemnas too. However, I still believe that Sora is overall stronger and just lacks time with the Keyblade rather than a whole strength issue. So I'm still giving this point to Sora. After all, at this point, he's practically saved everyone twice with the help of his friends. So I think that still gives him the edge in terms of strength. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give a point to both Roxas and Sora here. I mean, both of them can glide and high jump, obviously, and while Sora maybe has his things like drive forms and can arguably move faster, while Roxas might be better at dashing like the samurai he is, I really think I need to call it even here, since it could be argued that Roxas can do all the stuff Sora can do, since he is Sora's nobody. This could also be argued for strength too, but Roxas hasn't proven himself as much as Sora has. Even with Sora's drive forms, Sora can dash in quick succession during combat in final form and can move around at quick speeds in wisdom form. I mean, even going back to running on the buildings and dribbling high, it could be argued that Roxas has potential to do that as well, which is something much more likely to happen compared to beating Ansem or Xemnas. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give a point to both parties here. Keeping in mind, I'm only covering anything before the events or during the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. So Sora would obviously win here if he had the power to use things like flow motion or air stepping, but I'm gonna just assume that outside of drive forms, everything here can be done by Roxas too, since none of it requires any powers other than ones they both already have. Okay, Sora just takes this one. Ignoring things like drive forms, Sora still has access to a ton of summons. Not only that, the magic he has is sheerly impressive. Sora can literally reflect almost any attack, and has previously had powers to stop time and keep enemies from moving. He can even control gravity to an extent. Sure, Roxas has light shields and orbs, which are pretty cool, but it's arguably pretty average compared to what Sora has at his disposal. I mean, come on. The roster that Sora has is practically limitless. Even going off of Chain of Memories, the amount of things he can do with magic and summons is just crazy. Since Sora can't really do the things Roxas does in this category, I think it's just safe to say that both have access to different things. This one just really isn't close. I'm giving this point to Sora. Sorry, Roxas. Better luck next time, I suppose. Finally, feats. I've been mentioning feats throughout this entire video, from Sora being Ansem and Xemnas to Roxas besting both Riku and Sora in fights, to even stuff like Sora being able to technically stop time for enemies and Roxas being the first to dual wield. Sora and Roxas are in many ways similar and in many ways different. But unfortunately, this category really just comes down to time and what they could accomplish with it. So I have to give it up to Sora this one. Sora has had generally much more time and more impressive feats, while Roxas never has really gotten that much of a chance before, even in his own games. Even in his own game, the most impressive feats are like besting Xion and Riku. Sure, it's possible that he could do those things that Sora can do, but like his story, Roxas is Sora's nobody. He was doomed to not be as successful in the first place, and is unfortunately his fate. Which is why I have to give this category to Sora as well. In short, Roxas is the second strongest member of Organization 13. The amount of stuff he has accomplished is impressive, and the potential he has is amazing. But unfortunately, that's what it boils down to, potential. Unless proven otherwise, he'll never get the individual chance to prove he is stronger than Sora, as the summer vacation has been over for quite some time now. Sure, later on in this series, he's done many impressive things along with his friends and other Keyblade Masters, but never alone. Unlike Sora, and that's okay. I think my main takeaway from all of this is that, well, from the beginning, we all know Sora was stronger. But we still love Roxas because of it. He's an amazing character, and I don't think Sora would be the same person he is without him. I don't think Sora would be as strong as he is today without him either. So while Sora is stronger, either that being due to lack of experience from Roxas or more impressive feats from Sora, I still think Roxas has won our hearts, and that's good enough for us. But what do you think? Do you still think Roxas is stronger despite all of this? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're new here, I post daily Kingdom Hearts updates, so if you're into that, please check me out and maybe subscribe while you're at it. But thank you for watching and have a great day.